The rain hammered the windshield like fists of accusation, each drop blurring the taillights of the car ahead, the one carrying the only person I'd ever truly hated. I gripped the steering wheel tighter, my knuckles white, whispering a curse under my breath as thunder cracked overhead, mirroring the storm raging inside me. But then, in a heartbeat, everything shattered. Brakes failed, metal screamed, and I knew, with a gut-wrenching certainty, that my world, and his, had just collided in ways I could never undo. I slammed on my own brakes, the truck skidding across the slick Seattle street, hydroplaning toward the wreck like fate itself had taken the wheel. Heart pounding, I leaped out into the downpour, splashing through puddles that reflected the flashing red and blue lights already converging from the distance. The car, Jordan Hale's sleek black sedan, was crumpled against a utility pole, steam hissing from the hood, and there, in the passenger seat, slumped a boy no older than 18, blood trickling from his temple. Eli. The name tore from my throat before I could stop it, raw and desperate. I yanked open the door, ignoring the jagged metal that sliced my palm, and checked his pulse, faint but steady. Jordan was behind the wheel, unconscious, his face pale against the airbag's deflated surrender. Rivals or not. In that moment, seeing them both broken, something primal surged through me. A vow forged in the chaos, silent but ironclad. I would protect Eli Hale, even if it meant facing the man who'd spent years making my life hell. Little did I know, that promise would drag me into a web of secrets, where old grudges unraveled into something far more dangerous, feelings I had no right to feel. My name is Connor Reyes, and 5 years ago, Jordan Hale wasn't just my rival. He was the thorn in my side, the golden boy of Seattle's cutthroat nonprofit world who stole every grant, every donor, every spotlight from under me. We both ran organizations for LGBTQ youth. Mine, Harbor Lights, focused on crisis intervention for queer kids on the streets. His, Rainbow Bridge, polished events and celebrity fundraisers that made headlines but, in my bitter view, skimmed the surface of real pain. We'd clashed at every conference, every city council meeting, our arguments laced with barbs that cut deeper because they echoed our shared scars. Both of us had come out in conservative families. Both carried the weight of rejection turned into fuel. But where I built walls of quiet resolve, Jordan wielded charm like a weapon, his easy smile disarming critics while it infuriated me. That night on the bridge, though, none of that mattered. Paramedics swarmed the scene, loading Eli and Jordan onto stretchers as sirens wailed into the storm. I followed the ambulance to Harborview Medical Center, pacing the ER waiting room with a bandage wrapped around my bleeding hand, the metallic tang of blood mixing with the sterile chill of the air. Hours blurred, coffee gone cold, my phone buzzing with ignored texts from my team, until a doctor emerged, her face a mask of professional calm. "Mr. Hale is stable," she said, glancing at her chart. "Concussion, broken ribs, but he'll recover. The boy, Eli, has a laceration and mild shock, but he's awake now. Your family friend," I lied smoothly, the words tasting like ash. Jordan had no family. His parents had disowned him years ago, and Eli was the son he'd adopted through a surrogacy arrangement, a bright kid with Jordan's sharp wit and a vulnerability that made my protective instincts flare. I'd met Eli only a handful of times, at events where he'd tag along, wide-eyed and curious. But something about his quiet questions about what it's like to fight for this stuff had stuck with me. She nodded and led me to Eli's room. He sat propped up in bed, fur dripping steadily, his dark hair matted with drying blood, eyes red-rimmed but defiant. "Connor, what the hell are you doing here?" "Your dad asked me to look after you if anything ever happened," I said, pulling up a chair. It wasn't entirely a lie. Months ago, over a tense coffee truce after a joint panel on youth homelessness, Jordan had pulled me aside. "Connor, listen. Eli's my world. If I'm not around, promise me you'll step in. You're the only one I trust to keep him safe from all this bullshit. The donors who smile to your face but fund conversion camps behind your backs, the board members with their hidden agendas." I'd laughed it off then, a bitter bark. "Me? Protect your kid? After you poached my biggest sponsor last year." But his eyes, those piercing blue eyes, had held mine, serious as a vow. Hate me all you want, Reyes. But you're the real deal. Eli needs that. Now, staring at the boy who looked so much like a younger, unscarred Jordan, I felt the weight of it settle. I'm here, kid, and I'm not going anywhere. Eli's laugh was weak, more of a huff. Dad's gonna kill you when he wakes up. He says you're the reason he ages prematurely. I managed to grin, though my chest tightened. Let him try. Get some rest. By dawn, Jordan was in a room down the hall, groggy but alert. I lingered in the doorway, arms crossed, watching as a nurse adjusted his monitors. He turned his head slowly, those blue eyes locking onto mine with a flicker of surprise, and then, impossibly, the corner of his mouth lifted in that quiet smile. Not the flashy one he used for crowds, but something softer, laced with gratitude and exhaustion. It hit me like a sucker punch, cracking the armor I'd built over years of resentment. Why did it have to look like that? Like he saw me, really saw me, for the first time. Connor, he murmured, voice rough from the tube they'd removed. You didn't have to. Save the thanks. I cut in, stepping closer despite myself. Eli's fine. That's what matters. His smile deepened, just a fraction, and damn if it didn't twist something inside me. Still the knight in tarnished armor, huh? I snorted, turning away to hide the flush creeping up my neck. Don't push it, Hale. This doesn't make us friends. But as I left the room, the echo of that smile followed me, a crack in my resolve that I couldn't quite seal. The weeks that followed were a grind of recovery and reluctant alliance. Jordan's release came with strict orders, bed rest, no driving, limited visitors. His apartment in Capitol Hill, a sleek loft overlooking the bustling streets of Seattle's queer heart, wasn't built for invalid status, and with Eli back in school, the logistics fell to me. Or so I told myself. Harbor Lights had a spare volunteer coordinator, and I volunteered myself for the role, citing professional courtesy when my board raised eyebrows. Truth was, I couldn't shake the image of that crash, the way Jordan's hands had clenched the wheel, protective even in unconsciousness. Eli's small gasp as I pulled him from the wreckage. And beneath it all, the gnawing fear that the accident wasn't one. Jordan had enemies, wealthy conservatives who'd lost funding to our combined efforts, a bitter ex-board member who'd whispered threats at the last gala. I dismissed them as bluster, but now, with brake lines suspiciously severed according to the preliminary police report, paranoia crept in. My first duty visit was awkward as hell. I showed up with takeout from the Pike Place Market, fresh salmon chowder, because even rivals deserved comfort food, and found Jordan on the couch, laptop balanced on his lap, Eli sprawled nearby sketching in a notebook. Look what the tide dragged in, Eli quipped, eyeing the bag. You trying to bribe us, Reyes? Only if it gets you to eat something green. I shot back, handing over bowls. Jordan watched the exchange, that quiet smile playing at his lips again as he accepted his portion. Thanks, he said simply, no fanfare. We ate in companionable silence broken only by Eli's chatter about his art class, a mural project on queer icons for the school hallway, already drawing flack from the PDA. They called it divisive. Can you believe that? Like, it's Frida Kahlo and James Baldwin. Who's dividing what? Jordan's jaw tightened, but he kept his tone even. We'll handle it. Call the principal Monday. I leaned forward, anger sparking. Handle it? Eli, you need backup. I'll talk to them. Harbor Lights has lawyers who eat school boards for breakfast. Eli's eyes lit up. Really? You do that? For you? Yeah. I glanced at Jordan, expecting sarcasm, but he just nodded, approval in his gaze that warmed me more than it should. As Eli cleared the dishes, Jordan shifted, wincing at the pull of his ribs. Connor, about the crash. Police think sabotage. I didn't want to worry Eli, but... I know, I interrupted, voice low. I've got a guy looking into it. Old contact from my activist days. His eyes searched mine, vulnerability cracking his usual poise. Why are you doing this? Really? The question hung heavy, stirring dust over old wounds. Because I swore I would. And because... I trailed off, the words sticking. Because seeing you broken like that terrified me more than I ever admitted. Because Eli deserves better than our bullshit rivalry. Jordan's smile returned, soft and knowing, and for a moment, the room felt smaller, charged with unspoken history. We'd danced around attraction once, years ago, a charged glance at a fundraiser, a hand lingering too long on a shoulder during a late-night strategy session. But pride and competition had slammed the door, leaving only rivalry's sharp edges. That night, as I drove home through the misty streets, rain pattering softly now, I replayed it all. His smile, Eli's trust, the threat looming like storm clouds. Protecting them meant facing my own ghosts, the fear of letting someone in, only to lose them to the world's cruelty. But as the Space Needle's lights pierced the fog, I realized with a jolt, I wasn't just guarding Eli anymore. Jordan's quiet strength was pulling me under, and fighting it felt like fighting gravity. Eli's school drama escalated faster than a viral tweet. By midweek, the PTA had escalated their complaints to the district superintendent, labeling the mural inappropriate for minors and demanding Eli's removal from the art program. It was textbook bigotry, veiled in family values, but reeking of the same prejudice that had driven Jordan's parents to cut him off, that had left me couch surfing at 16 after my own coming out. I stormed into the district office that Friday, Jordan's borrowed notes clutched in my fist, Eli waiting nervously in my truck outside. The superintendent, a pinched-faced woman named Hargrove, barely looked up from her desk. "Mr. Reyes, this is a delicate matter. We can't have such provocative content in our halls." Provocative? I leaned forward, voice steel. It's history, art. It's kids seeing themselves represented. Deny that, and you're the one dividing families. She bristled, but my follow-up email blast, CCNG every local queer advocate and journalist, had her backpedaling by Monday. The mural stayed, Eli's name cleared, and when I picked him up that afternoon, he tackled me in a hug that nearly knocked me over. "You're a badass," he declared, sliding into the passenger seat. "Dad owes you big. Your dad's the one who taught you to fight dirty." I teased, but inside, pride swelled. Jordan met us at the loft with takeout Thai, his first venture out since the crash, and for the first time, our dinner felt like something real, not obligation. Over pad CEW, conversation flowed to safer waters. Eli's crush on a classmate, a non-binary artist named Riley, total vibe. My latest grant win for Harbor Lights. Jordan listened more than he spoke, his laughter rare but genuine, that smile flashing when Eli recounted my epic takedown of Hargrove. As Eli retreated to his room for homework, Jordan poured us coffee, black and steaming. "You didn't have to go nuclear on the school. But, thank you. Eli's been through enough." I sipped, the bitterness grounding me. "He's tough. Like his dad." Jordan's gaze dropped to his mug, fingers tracing the rim. "Tough. Try terrified. Adopting him. It was the best decision I ever made, but every day I wonder if I'm screwing it up." The crash? It wasn't random. That ex-board member, Victor Lang, he was cut from Rainbow Bridge after embezzlement rumors. Now he's gunning for payback. The name hit like ice water. Victor Lang, silver-tongued donor who'd funneled money to anti-LGBTQ lobbies while schmoozing our events. I'd crossed paths with him once, his handshake clammy, eyes calculating. "You think he cut the brakes?" Police found residue matching his garage tools. But proof's thin. Jordan's voice cracked, just a hair, and he rubbed his temple. "I can't let Eli pay for my messes." "You won't," I said firmly, reaching across the table without thinking, my hand covering his, a brief anchor. His skin was warm, calloused from years of shaking hands and holding signs. He didn't pull away. Instead, his fingers curled slightly, and that quiet smile bloomed, slow and devastating. "Connor," he whispered, like my name was a secret. The air thickened, memories flooding back. That fundraiser, the way his cologne had lingered after our argument turned to hushed confessions in a coat room, lips almost brushing before ego intervened. We were idiots back then. Yeah, I agreed, throat tight, withdrawing my hand before I did something stupid. Water under the bridge. But as I left that night, the touch lingered, a spark in the dark. Eli texted me later. "Thanks for being our hero. Dad says hi, and that you're not as grumpy as you pretend." I stared at the screen, heart stuttering. Grumpy? Try terrified. Because Jordan's smile wasn't just breaking my guard. It was dismantling it, brick by brick, and the view beyond scared me more than any threat. The investigation heated up like Seattle's rare summer scorcher. My contact, a retired PI named Marta, who'd pulled me out of more than one scrape during my early activist days, dug up dirt on Victor Lang that made my blood boil. Emails to conservative PACs, funding spikes timed with our biggest wins, even a blurry photo of him tailing Jordan's car weeks before the crash. "This guy's unhinged," Marta growled over an encrypted call. "Watch your backs. He's got reach." I shared the findings with Jordan over a late-night strategy session at my place. A cramped queen and walk-up stacked with case files and protest posters. Eli was at Riley's for a study group, blushing furiously when he mentioned it, leaving us alone with pizza boxes and tension thick as fog. "We go public," I urged, pacing the living room while Jordan lounged on my worn couch, looking unfairly at home in sweatpants and a faded pride tee. "Expose him. Rainbow Bridge and Harbor Lights United, irresistible headline." He shook his head, that smile absent, replaced by furrowed brows. "And hand him ammo. Queer activists, witch hunt donor." "No." We build the case quietly, then drop it on the DA. Frustration flared, old rivalry sparking. Quietly. That's how you let him get this far. Always playing nice, Jordan, while kids like Eli suffer. His eyes flashed, standing to meet me toe-to-toe. Playing nice? Try surviving. You think I haven't lost sleep over every compromise? But charging in guns blazing gets you burned, Connor. I've seen it. Friends blacklisted, families torn apart. We were inches apart, breaths mingling, the argument hanging on a knife's edge. I'd always admired his restraint, even as it infuriated me. Now, up close, I saw the toll, the faint lines around his eyes, the way his hands trembled slightly. "I'm sorry," I murmured, deflating. "I just can't lose you too. Not like this." The words slipped out, raw and unfiltered, and silence crashed down. Jordan's expression softened, surprise melting into something warmer, deeper. He lifted a hand, hesitating before cupping my jaw, thumb brushing my stubble. "Connor, you won't." Time stretched, his touch igniting embers I'd long buried. That quiet smile returned, tentative, inviting, and I leaned in, foreheads touching. A moment of truce, of possibility. No kiss, no rush. Just the profound ache of connection. Two men who'd built empires on guarded hearts finding common ground in vulnerability. But the universe, cruel as ever, shattered it. My phone buzzed. Eli, frantic. "Connor, Riley's house. Someone broke in. Dad's on his way," but we bolted, the drive a blur of screeching tires and Jordan's white-knuckled grip on the dash. The break-in was a warning. Riley's mural sketches shredded, a note scrawled in red. "Keep your filth off our streets. Next time, it's you, Hale boy." Eli was shaken but unharmed. Riley's parents calling the cops while we huddled in the kitchen, Jordan holding his son close. "It's Lang," he confirmed, voice steel now. "He's escalating." I nodded, resolve hardening. "Then we fight. Together." As Eli crashed on the couch, exhausted, Jordan and I stepped onto the porch, city lights twinkling below like distant stars. "Thank you," he said again. But this time, his hand found mine, squeezing. That smile, quiet, radiant, lit the night, and in its glow, I saw not just a rival, but a partner. A man whose strength mirrored my own, whose quiet joy could heal the fractures I'd hidden for years. Yet doubt whispered, could we bridge this? With threats closing in, prejudices flaring, and hearts on the line? The alliance solidified in the days that followed, our organizations merging forces for a unity against fear event. A rally in California Anderson Park, drawing hundreds of queer youth, allies, and even skeptical locals. Jordan handled the stage, his charisma weaving stories of resilience that had the crowd chanting. I coordinated security, plainclothes volunteers scanning for Lang's face in the throng. Eli manned the art booth, his mural replicas selling like hotcakes, Riley at his side, their hands brushing shyly. From the sidelines, I watched Jordan work the mic, sweat beading on his brow under the afternoon sun, that smile flashing as he quoted Baldwin. "Love takes off the masks that we fear we cannot live without and know we cannot live within." The words landed like a gut punch, mirroring the masks we'd worn, the rivalry shielding deeper longings. Afterward, as the park emptied, we debriefed at a nearby cafe, Eli and Riley giggling over iced lattes. Jordan slid into the booth beside me, thigh pressing against mine under the table, a casual contact that sent sparks racing. "We did good," he murmured, eyes crinkling. "Yeah," I replied, voice low. But Lang didn't show. Means he's planning something bigger. His hand found my knee, a steadying touch. "Then we plan bigger. With you. I feel like we can." The vulnerability in his tone undid me. Over the past weeks, stolen moments had piled up. Shared glances during Eli's soccer practices. I'd volunteered as assistant coach, much to his amusement. Late texts debating policy. A brush of fingers passing coffee. No declarations, but the undercurrent was electric, pulling us toward confession. That evening, back at Jordan's loft, Eli announced he was sleeping over at Riley's. With parents' promise. Leaving us alone for the first time since the crash. The air hummed as we cleaned up dinner, shoulders bumping in the kitchen, laughter easing old tensions. "Remember that gala?" Jordan asked, drying a plate, his back to me. "The one where we almost..." "Almost what?" I teased, stepping closer, heart thundering. He turned, towel forgotten, blue eyes locking on mine. "Almost admitted we're more than rivals. That your fire matches mine. That He swallowed, smile fading into earnestness. "That I've regretted walking away every day since." The confession hung, raw and real. I closed the gap, hands framing his face, thumbs tracing his jaw. "Me too. God, Jordan, that smile of yours, it's been breaking me since the hospital." Our lips met then, soft and searching, a kiss born of years denied. No heat, just depth, the taste of forgiveness, the promise of tomorrow. He pulled back slightly, forehead to mine, whispering, "Stay tonight." I nodded, and we curled on the couch, talking until dawn. His fears of failing Eli, my scars from family rejection, the prejudices we'd both battled. In his arms, the world felt conquerable. But dawn brought darkness. A package arrived, anonymous, addressed to Jordan. Inside, photos of Eli at school, Riley's house, my truck. And a note. "Promises break. So will you." Lang was closing in, and our fragile peace teetered on the edge. The threat morphed from whispers to screams overnight. After the package, Jordan insisted on round-the-clock protection. I moved into the loft's guest room, citing logistics. But really, it was the pull. The way his morning coffee ritual, humming softly as he brewed, made my chest ache with unfamiliar domesticity. Eli thrived on the energy, dubbing me Uncle Grump, while sketching caricatures of us as superheroes. Jordan the strategist, me the brawler. Yet cracks formed. Paranoia frayed nerves. Jordan jumped at shadows, snapping during a donor call when I suggested canceling an upcoming board meeting. "I won't let him win by hiding," he exploded, pacing the living room. "And I won't let him near you," I retorted, voice rising. Old patterns resurfaced, my impulsiveness clashing with his caution, and for a moment, we were rivals again, words like daggers. Eli overheard, slamming his bedroom door, and guilt crashed over us. That night, as rain lashed the windows, Jordan found me on the balcony, staring at the storm-lit skyline. "I'm sorry," he said, slipping beside me, hand on my back. "Fear makes me rigid." I turned, pulling him close. "And it makes me reckless. But together, we're unbreakable." His smile, quiet, healing, chased the clouds, and we kissed under the downpour's rhythm, water soaking us, washing away the fight. Inside, Eli waited with popcorn, forcing a group movie night that dissolved into laughter, the tension easing like fog burning off. Marta's breakthrough came midweek. Lang's financials tied to a hate group, plus witness statements placing him near the garage pre-crash. "Enough for an arrest warrant," she reported. We leaked it anonymously to a friendly reporter, and by Friday, headlines screamed, "Queer nonprofit leader targeted in sabotage plot." The backlash was swift, trolls flooding our inboxes, protesters picketing Rainbow Bridge with signs decrying homosexual agendas. One evening, as I walked Eli home from practice, a man in a hoodie spat slurs, shoving me against a lamppost. "Filth like you ruins families." Eli froze, but I stepped forward, voice calm. "Walk away. Now." He fled, but the bruise on my arm throbbed like a warning. Jordan iced it that night, his touch gentle, eyes stormy. "This is my fault. Dragging you into." Stop, I interrupted, cupping his face. I'm here because I choose to be. Because you and Eli make the fight worth it. Tears glistened in his eyes, and he kissed me fiercely, pouring gratitude into every press. I love you, he breathed against my lips, the words a thunderclap. Have for years. I love you too. I confessed, the dam breaking. Joy surged, pure and profound, wrapping us in its glow. But triumph soured fast. Lang, cornered, lashed out. A deepfake video circulating online, twisting Jordan's rally speech into anti-family rants, doctored to incite fury. Donors pulled funding. Eli's school received bomb threats, forcing closure. Worst, anonymous calls to my board, painting me as compromised for consorting with the enemy. Isolation clawed in. Jordan withdrew, buried in damage control. Eli lashed out, skipping classes. One night, he confronted us in the kitchen, voice breaking. This is because of you too, isn't it? Hiding whatever this is, making everything worse. The accusation stung, truth's weed skirted. Eli. Jordan started, but I held up a hand. He's right. We've been cowards. I knelt to his level, meeting his hurt gaze. Your dad and I, we love each other. Have for a long time. And yeah, it's scary. The world's not kind to guys like us building a family. But hiding? That almost cost us everything. Eli's lip trembled. So, you're like, together now? Jordan nodded, pulling him into a hug. If you'll let us try? As a team. Tears flowed, but Eli hugged back, whispering, just, don't break us. We didn't sleep that night, the three of us tangled on the couch, forging bonds in vulnerability. Dawn brought resolve. A press conference, raw and unfiltered, outing our relationship not as scandal, but strength. Love isn't the threat, Jordan declared to flashing cameras. Hate is, and we're done running. The response was a tidal wave, support pouring in from allies, celebrities amplifying our story, even former detractors quietly donating. Lang was arrested that afternoon, his empire crumbling under indictments. In the quiet after, as Seattle's lights twinkled beyond the window, Jordan's smile, quiet, eternal, met mine. We did it. Yeah, I murmured, Eli asleep between us. And it's just the beginning. But beginnings, I knew, held their own storms. With prejudices lingering, rivals evolving into family, we'd face more twists. Yet in that moment, wrapped in love's defiant embrace, I felt unbreakable. The guard was down, the heart open, and for the first time, it felt like home. Weeks turned to months, the loft transforming from crash site sanctuary to a tapestry of shared lives. Eli's mural hung in the living room, colors vibrant against white walls. My protest posters mingled with Jordan's framed awards, a visual truce. Mornings blurred into routines, me brewing coffee strong enough to wake the dead, Jordan humming off-key while scrambling eggs, Eli shuffling in with bedhead and sarcasm. You two are disgustingly domestic, he'd groan, but his grin betrayed fondness. The world outside tested us relentlessly. Lang's trial loomed, a media circus dredging up every slur, every past slight. Reporters camped outside events, probing for cracks. How does it feel, Mr. Reyes, to go from enemies to lovers? I'd deflect with clipped professionalism, but inside, the scrutiny chafed, stirring old insecurities. Was this real, or just trauma's glue? Jordan sensed it always. One evening, after a brutal deposition where Lang's lawyer grilled him on lifestyle choices, he found me in the guest room, now ours, though boxes of my clothes still lingered unpacked, staring at the ceiling. Penny for your thoughts? He slid beside me, hand tracing lazy circles on my chest. I exhaled, turning to him. Just wondering if we're fooling ourselves. Building this on sand, rivalry, revenge, now love under a spotlight. What if it crumbles? His smile, that quiet anchor, curved softly. Then we rebuild. Like we always have. He propped on an elbow, eyes tracing my face. Connor, you're not sand. You're the rock I crashed against, and somehow survived to lean on. Laughter bubbled up, easing the knot. We made love then, not urgent, but slow, reverent, bodies mapping forgiveness in whispers and sighs. Afterward, tangled in sheets, he confessed fragments of his past, the surrogacy struggles, Eli's early therapies for anxiety born of unstable foster glimpses before adoption. I swore I'd give him stability. Never thought it'd include you. And I swore to protect him. I murmured, kissing his temple. Never thought it'd include falling for you. Eli's world shifted too. His relationship with Riley deepened. First handholds at rallies, then tentative dates chaperoned by us, much to their theatrical eye rolls. But prejudice shadowed. School whispers, a slur-scrawled locker. One night, he came home silent, hoodie pulled low. Talk to me, Jordan urged over dinner. Fort paused. Eli poked at his pasta. Some kids. They said Riley and I are faking it for attention. Like, because we're both queer, it's a phase or a joke. Rage simmered, but I kept my voice steady. They're scared of what you two represent. Real, unapologetic love. But phases don't build murals or face-down bigots. He looked up, eyes searching. You think we can make it? Like you and Dad. Jordan's hand found mine under the table, a silent vow. We will, because we choose it every day. Eli nodded, vulnerability cracking into resolve. Teach me how to fight without breaking. So we did. Family meetings became strategy sessions, role-playing tough convos, journaling prompts on identity, even a queer history hike through Discovery Park, where I'd recount Stonewall tales amid towering cedars. Eli bloomed, his art evolving from personal icons to collective stories, a series on invisible allies, dedicating one to me, a lone figure shielding a flame from storm winds. Pride season arrived like a bomb, Seattle's streets alive with rainbows and bass-thumping floats. We marched as a unit, Jordan and I arm in arm, Eli and Riley waving handmade signs. Love wins? Nah, love fights. The crowd's roar drowned doubts. Cheers for our power couple story a defiant chorus. But midway, a counter-protester shoved through, sign reading, God hates fags, spitting at Eli's feet. Time slowed. Jordan tensed, but I stepped forward, voice low and lethal. Walk away, or join the parade, your choice. He snarled, lunging, but security swarmed, hauling him off. Eli trembled, Riley's hand in his a lifeline. Later, over rooftop beers at a friend's party, Jordan pulled me aside. You handled that like a pro. But it scares me, how close they get. I clinked my bottle to his. That's why we build walls, not to hide, but to protect what's inside. His smile flickered, shadowed. And if the walls fail, then we become the storm. The trial's opening salvaged that fragile peace. Lang's arraignment packed the courthouse, supporters spilling into halls. Jordan testified first, voice steady as he detailed the threats, the crash's terror. This wasn't about money. It was about erasing us, our voices, our family. I watched from the gallery, pride swelling, Eli gripping my hand. When Lang's turn came, his glare swept the room, landing on us like venom. Lies from deviants, he sneered. The judge banged her gavel, but the damage lingered. That night, anonymous emails flooded, death threats, doxed addresses. We hunkered down, police patrols circling the block. Eli's anxiety spiked, nightmares waking him in sweats. Jordan's smiles grew forced, exhaustion etching deeper lines. One midnight, as thunder rumbled, Eli padded into our room, eyes wide. Can I stay? Just tonight. We made space, a pile of limbs and reassurances, whispering stories until sleep claimed him. In the dark, Jordan's voice rumbled against my shoulder. We're his world, Connor. Can't let it shatter. We won't, I promised, but fear not. How much could love withstand before bending? A twist came unbidden. During a recess, Marta's update revealed Lang's accomplice. Not a stranger, but Theo Grant, a mid-level donor to Harbor Lights. My donor. The betrayal stung like salt in a wound. Theo, who'd praised my work over lunches, now implicated in funneling funds to Lang's schemes. Confrontation brewed. I met him at a neutral cafe, voice iced. Why? Theo fidgeted, sweat beading. It was business. Lang promised bigger grants. Business. I leaned in. You targeted families. Kids like Eli. He paled. I didn't know it'd go that far. Testify against him, please. The offer tempted, just as swift, but trust fractured. I walked out, nausea churning, and drove straight to Jordan. It was one of mine. God, how did I miss it? He enveloped me, No judgment. Because you see good in people. That's your strength, not weakness. We reported it, Theo flipping for a plea, accelerating Lang's downfall. But the leak poisoned my board. Whispers of poor judgment led to a vote of no confidence. Resignation loomed, my legacy teetering. Jordan rallied. Fight it. Like we fight everything. Eli chimed in, fierce. Harbor Lights needs you. We need you. Their faith anchored me. At the board meeting, I laid it bare. The betrayal, the crash, our love as fuel, not flaw. I've poured my soul into this. If that's not enough. It was. They voted unanimously to stay the course, even expanding partnership with Rainbow Bridge. Relief crashed like waves, but deeper currents stirred. Post-trial euphoria faded into normalcy's grind. Joint grants flowing. Eli's art show debut. Riley's family hosting awkward but endearing dinners. Yet complacency bred oversight. The real twist hit during a quiet weekend getaway to the San Juans. Cabins on Orcas Island. Salty air healing old hurts. Eli and Riley kayaked, laughter echoing. Jordan and I hiked, hands linked, sharing dreams of a future. Co-directing a merged nonprofit, maybe fostering other queer youth. That night, around a fire pit, Jordan's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown. Enjoy the peace. It ends soon. Attached, a photo of Eli, mid-paddle, time-stamped minutes ago. Panic surged. Lang was jailed, but copycats thrived. We cut the trip short, ferrying back under gray skies, vigilance a shroud. Home brought no solace. Eli's school called. A fight, his first suspension. He decked a bully mocking Riley's pronouns. He called them it. I snapped. Jordan hugged him tight. Proud you're defending love. But we talk first, punch later. I nodded, but inside, weariness weighed. This cycle, it's exhausting. Jordan's eyes met mine, understanding deep. Then let's break it. Not by hiding, but by building louder. We did a podcast series, Rivals to Roots, chronicling our story, raw talks on rivalry's roots in shared pain, love's alchemy in crisis. Episodes went viral, invites flooding, TEDx, national news. Eli guested, voice steady on allyship's evolution. But fame's shadow lengthened. A stalker emerged, fan turned obsessive, mailing gifts, locks of hair, poos, pressed flowers stained red. Police dismissed as harmless, but Jordan's smiles vanished, replaced by haunted glances. One evening, as Eli rehearsed a speech, the stalker breached. A knock, package in hand. I answered, heart slamming, a woman wild-eyed. You're the heroes. I just want to join. She thrust a drawing. Us as angels, Eli haloed. Unease prickled, but we called authorities, securing a restraining order. The incident fractured Jordan. What if it's not over? What if I can't protect him? I pulled him close. You already are. We are. His quiet smile returned, faint but real, and in its light, hope flickered. Love, we'd learned, wasn't a shield but a sword. Wielded together, it cut through darkness. Yet as autumn leaves fell, whispering change, I sensed another bend. Eli's growing independence, Riley's college apps pulling him east. And beneath, a secret Jordan harbored. Health scares from the crash, tests pending. Unspoken, it loomed, testing our vows anew. Winter gripped Seattle in icy fingers, the city's pulse slowing under frost-laced evergreens. Holiday lights twinkled defiantly, but our home felt the chill. Jordan's unexplained fatigue dismissed as stress, Eli's budding romance straining under distance's threat. Riley's acceptance to NYU loomed, a bittersweet milestone that had Eli withdrawing into sketches, his joy muted. We navigated it as a unit, decorating the loft with mismatched ornaments. Eli's clay handprints from childhood, my salvaged protest banners repurposed as garland. Jordan strung lights, his movements deliberate, that quiet smile masking the pallor I'd noticed creeping in. Traditions keep us grounded, he said, kissing my cheek amid tinsel chaos. But ground shifted. Eli's art teacher nominated him for a national youth exhibit in New York, judges raving about his intersectional narratives. Pride swelled, but logistics tangled, flights during peak chaos, Riley's parallel excitement clashing with goodbye fears. Go. I urged over hot cocoa, snow flurrying outside. Show the world what hail grit looks like. Eli fidgeted. But Dad, he's been off. And you? Bored stuff piling up. Jordan waved it off. I'm fine. Cough's just a cold. Go shine. The exhibit was a triumph. Eli's pieces, vibrant collages of rival hearts mending, earned a residency offer in Brooklyn summer-long. He called breathless. Connor, it's real. Riley's thrilled. We'll overlap. Joy cascaded, but undercurrent tugged. Jordan's cold lingered, escalating to doctor's visits I tagged along for, feigning casual. Tests, blood work, scans. Waiting rooms blurred into tense silences, his hand in mine a lifeline. Results came on a slate-gray afternoon, doctor's office sterile as judgment. Stress-induced cardiomyopathy, she explained. The crash exacerbated it. Hearts weakened, but manageable with meds, lifestyle. Jordan exhaled, smile brittle. So, not dying. Not today. She prescribed rest, monitoring, and support. Lean on each other. We did, fiercely. I took over runs, meal prepping greens and lean proteins. Eli video called daily, his worry a mirror to ours. Nights, Jordan and I talked till exhaustion. Fears of legacy, of leaving Eli adrift. Promise you'll guide him. He whispered once, vulnerability raw. Always, I vowed, holding him through tremors. But you're not going anywhere. The stalker added venom. After Eli's win, packages resumed. Clippings of his articles, annotated with mine to protect. Police upped patrols, but she evaded, a ghost in crowds. One eve, as Jordan napped, I spotted her across the street, watching. Confrontation burned, but caution won. I snapped photos, filed reports. Eli's departure gutted us. Airport goodbyes were tear-streaked, hugs lingering, promises to text coordinates. Love you both, he mumbled, backpack slung. Don't implode without me. Jordan's laugh cracked. No promises, kid. Alone, the loft echoed. We filled voids with us, slow dances in the kitchen to jazz playlists, bundled walks along the waterfront, where fairies cut wakes like hopeful slashes. His smile, quieter now, held galaxies, gratitude, desire, defiance. But cracks widened. My board, buoyed by our podcast success, pushed expansion, merger formalization, new centers in Tacoma, Spokane. You're the face, the chair urged. Lead it. Exhaustion warred with ambition. Jordan encouraged, do it, for the kids we were. Yet his health dipped, shortness of breath during a speech, dash that terrified. Minor episode. Doctors soothed, but fear lodged deep. Spring thawed ice, blooming cherry blossoms along Lake Union. Eli's updates glowed, residency immersion, Riley's visits sparking young love's fire. Miss you. He texted, photo of skyline sketches. We visited mid-May, Jordan insisting despite fatigue. New York buzzed, subways rumbling, streets alive. Eli's studio, chaos of canvases, Riley sketching beside. Dinner in a hole-in-wall Italian, laughter flowing like Chianti. But hotel night, Jordan faltered, chest tight, vision blurring. Ambulance wailed, Bellevue rushed diagnosing arrhythmia flare. Overdid it, he gasped, monitors beeping. Guilt crushed. Should have stayed home. His hand squeezed mine. Worth every beat. Seeing him thrive. Recovery grounded us. Back in Seattle, I delegated board duties, prioritizing. Therapy for all. Family sessions unpacking crash trauma. Individual for Jordan's health anxiety. Eli joined via Zoom. His insights sharp. We're a unit. Can't lose sight. The stalker escalated then. A letter slipped under our door. Eli's light dims without you. Let me help. Enclosed. A keychain from his exhibit, stolen. Rage ignited. I traced her. Online forums. Unhinged posts idolizing our story as prophecy. Police raided her apartment. Shrines of photos. Manifestos blending fandom with delusion. Arrest brought catharsis, but unearthed rot. She'd infiltrated volunteer lists, posing as ally. Trust eroded anew, vetting tightened, events secured. Summer solstice party marked turning. Merged org launch, park pavilion strung with lanterns. Eli flew in, Riley too. Jordan spoke, voice steady, smile radiant. From rivals to roots, we grow together. Crowd cheered, but private toast later. To us, I murmured, arm around him. His eyes sparkled. To forever. Yet forever tested. Eli's residency extended, full scholarship. Stay, he asked, torn. Go, Jordan urged, pride masking pang. Roots spread, don't sever. Tears fell, but decision stuck. Airport again. Hugs, vows of visits. Fall brought harvest of growth. Jordan's heart stabilized, meds tuned. Our merger thrived, centers opening to cheers. But a whisper from his past. Ex-partner, long estranged, surfacing with claims on Eli's custody. Pre-adoption flings twisted into rights. Legal storm brewed. Papers served, alleging Jordan's instability. Heart condition cited. Our relationship scandal. Fury boiled. Over my dead body. I snarled, lawyers mobilizing. Jordan paled. What if they win? Eli. They won't. I rallied. Character witnesses. Eli foremost. Video depot fierce. Dad's my rock. Connor too. This family's unbreakable. Trial swift. Judge dismissing claims as vindictive. Victory tasted sweet, but scars lingered. Jordan's trust in bonds frayed. Winter circled again, holidays hushed. Eli home, stories spilling. Riley met families, nerves electric. New Year's Eve, fireworks bursting. Jordan pulled me to the balcony. This year, let's make it ours. Officially. Proposal? Heart soared. Ring and all. His smile, quiet, profound, lit the night. Tomorrow. But tonight. Promise me we'll keep fighting. Always, I whispered, kissing under exploding skies. But as embers faded, a call, Eli's voice, panicked. Grandma, Dad's mom. She's here. Says she wants to. Reconcile. Jordan's family, long ghosts, knocking. Forgiveness or trap. The door cracked open, inviting chaos anew. Jordan's mother arrived like a specter from a black and white photo. Silver hair pinned severely, coat buttoned to the throat. Eyes, blue mirrors of her son's, wary behind wire rims. She stood on the threshold, suitcase at her feet, the doorman's buzz still echoing. Jordan, may I come in? The air thickened, holiday cheer curdling. Jordan froze in the doorway, hand on the frame white-knuckled. Eli peered from the kitchen, curiosity warring with caution. I lingered back, sentinel silent. Mom, Jordan managed, voice a wire. It's been 15 years. 14 and a half, she corrected softly, stepping inside uninvited. The loft, warm with pine scent and twinkle lights, felt invaded. She glanced around. Eli's art on walls, our merged photos on the mantel, lips thinning. You've built a life. Eli edged forward. Grandma? Like for real. She softened fractionally, offering a gloved hand. Eleanor Hale. I've followed your work. The exhibit. It's beautiful. Awkwardness reigned. We settled in the living room, tea steaming untouched. Eleanor spoke haltingly. Husband's death 6 months prior. A deathbed plea to make amends. Church softened. Therapy unearthed regrets. I was wrong. About you. About this. Gesture vague, encompassing us. Jordan's jaw worked. Wrong? You called me abomination. Cut me off penniless. Pain flashed. I know. Scripture twisted by fear. But seeing you now, strong, loved, I see God's grace, not wrath. Skepticism hung. I interjected gently. What do you want, Mrs. Hale? Time, she said. To know my son. My grandson. Eyes to Eli. If you'll allow. Eli shrugged, teen nonchalance masking depth. Sure. But no Bible thumping. A ghost of a smile. Deal. She stayed, a week stretching tentative. Dinner's awkward. Her questions on our work met with clipped answers. Eli's stories drawing rare laughs. Jordan oscillated, warm one moment, distant next. Nights, he'd pace, whispering doubts. Is it real? Or guilt's ploy? I held him. Test it. But guard your heart. Twists unraveled. Eleanor confessed more, not just regret, but disinheritance. Husbands will favoring charities she now questioned. Anti-LGBTQ ties exposed. I sold the house. Donated proceeds to Rainbow Bridge. Check presented, substantial. Jordan stared, check trembling. Why? Redemption. Tears welled. And love. Delayed, but true. Breakthrough came Christmas Eve. Eli's idea, tree trimming, ornaments shared. Eleanor's contribution, a faded angel, Jordan's childhood, sparked tales, holidays passed, before rifts. Laughter cracked ice. Jordan smiled genuine as he hung it high. Midnight mass followed. Her invitation, our compromise. Not churchgoers, but for peace. Candles flickered, carols swelled. Jordan's hand in mine, Eli's arm linked. Eleanor's voice joined hymns, harmony fragile, but forming. Dawn brought gifts. Hers, a family Bible annotated with affirming verses. Ours, a locket for her. Eli's sketch inside, us encircled. Family, he said. All of us. She wept, hugging Jordan fierce. Forgive me. He nodded, breaking. Trying. She extended stay, indefinite, a Capitol Hill rental nearby. Integration slow, volunteer shifts at the center, her knitting circles for youth. Prejudice lingered, stiff smiles at events, whispered judgments. But she confronted, voice quavering. My son taught me love's the law. Eli thrived on the bridge. Grandma's cool. Kinda. But shadows persisted. Lang's appeal dragged, new evidence surfacing, corrupt judge ties, delaying justice. Media twisted. Hail family drama. From disownment to donate. Stalker copycats emerged, forum posts idolizing her as martyr. One breached. Graffiti on the center, false prophets. Vigilance renewed. Eleanor, unexpectedly, rallied. I've contacts, old church networks, now allies. Introductions flowed, bolstering security. Jordan's health flickered, routine check revealing med adjustments needed. Minor, doctor assured, but stress mounted. I pushed balance. Date nights, ferry rides to Bainbridge, picnics where his laugh echoed free. One twilight, beachcombing, he paused, shell in hand. This, us, Eli, even Mom, it's more than I dreamed. I kissed salt from his lips. Earned it. Spring surged, Eli's return electric. NYU deferred for a gap year. Want to build here first. Residency extended locally, Riley commuting. Joint projects bloomed. Youth mentorship, his art fused with our advocacy. Eleanor's evolution deepened. Pride volunteer, she marched beside us, sign bold. Proud ally, better late. Eli's pride swelled. Grandma's got moves. Yet conflict brewed anew. Board merger hit snags. Factions clashing on vision, my personal entanglements cited. Anonymous leak, our relationship, distraction, Eleanor's donation, buying influence. Betrayal traced to Victor's ally, a holdover donor. Confrontation stormy, resign or expose. Jordan's fury matched mine. We built this clean. Eli, overhearing, stormed in, fight. Like you taught me. We did, transparent audit, donor purge. Merger salvaged, stronger, with clauses for family leave, inclusivity. Summer heat wave tested bonds. Eleanor's health faltered, age catching, hip surgery looming. Stay? She asked Jordan, vulnerability echoing his own. He did, balancing care with work. I stepped up, Eli too, nursing shifts, stories bedside. Recovery slow, but gratitude forged steel. You saved me, she told him. Now I save you, by believing. Fall harvest, wedding plans whispered. Jordan's proposal, rings simple, silver band etched with intertwined roots. Marry me. Knees buckled. Yes. Eli hooped. Riley toasted. Eleanor teared. Blessing. But eve of invitations, call shattered. Lang's appeal granted. Mistrial, retrial pending. Freed on bail, he vanished. Whispers of flight. Fear resurged. He's out. Jordan breathed, smile gone. I armored up. We'll find him. Eli's resolve hardened. Together. Eleanor's voice steady. Faith and family. As leaves turned, we circled wagons. Love's fire unquenched. Threats loomed, but in Jordan's quiet smile, I found steel, unbreakable, ours. Lang's evasion ignited a manhunt. Federal now. Warrants spanning borders, tips flooding hotlines. Seattle hunkered, our lives under siege. Mail screened, routes varied. Eli's school switched to remote. The loft, once haven, felt fortress, curtains drawn, doors bolted. Jordan's stress spiked, heart monitor beeping warnings. Can't breathe, he'd gasp during calls, me rubbing his back, whispering anchors. Eli buried in virtual classes, sketches dark, thorny vines and circling figures. Even Eleanor, post-surgery, patrolled windows with cane in hand, vigilance her new prayer. Media frenzy peaked. Fugitive bigot targets queer icons. Supporters rallied. Vigils outside the center, funds surging, but isolation clawed. Date nights canceled, walks forsaken. Intimacy reduced to hurried touches, fears thief. A lead broke mid-October. Sighting in Portland, dive bar whispers. I chased with Marta, adrenaline surging down I-5, rain sheeting. Bar reeked of stale beer, patrons eyeing us wary. Informant, grizzled ex-associate. Lang's holed up in Astoria, plotting comeback. Says hails his final lesson. Chill spidered. Back home, briefing stark, he's close. Personal. Jordan paled. Eli. Safe. But we evacuate. No. Defiance flared. Running's his win. Compromise. Safe house rotation. Decoys. Eli to Eleanor's, Jordan and I to a Whidbey Island cabin. Rustic, waves crashing like guards. There, isolation bred clarity. Fireside, salt air sharp, Jordan open veins, fears not the crash. It's losing you before we start. I traced his scars, ribcage ridges from wreck. Won't happen. Nights tangled, bodies reaffirming life, slow explorations, laughter amid gasps. Mornings, coffee on porch, plotting, retrial strategy, org expansions paused for survival. Eli called daily, voice steadying. Grandma's teaching me chess. Says it's like advocacy, anticipate moves. Eleanor bloomed in crisis. Church allies mobilizing. Prayer chains turning to action networks. God's in the fight, she'd say, winking. Led to Lang's credit ping, Vancouver motel. Feds swarmed, but he slipped, ghosting to Idaho, militia ties rumored. Paranoia peaked. Anonymous calls his threats. Hale's heart stops next. Jordan's episode hit then. Dinner with Eli, sudden collapse. Ambulance blurred, ER chaos. Arrhythmia, stress triggered. Admit him, doctors urged. He refused. Home. With family. We did. Monitors home installed, routine rigid. I quit board chair, focusing guardian. Eli dropped semester, interning at center, youth hotline, his empathy gold. Winter solstice neared, darkness deepest. Wedding postponed, rings pocketed like talismans. But resolve hardened. Holiday gathering at Eleanor's, full circle. Tree lit, carols soft, we exchanged vows unofficial, Jordan's eyes locked. In sickness, pursuit, I'll choose you. Echoed back, tears salting eggnog. Eli raised glass. To us, unbreakable. Eleanor's toast. To grace, found in forgiveness. Lang's capture came New Year's dawn. Idaho ranch raid. Arms seized, him snarling in cuffs. Headlines screamed vindication. Trial reset, ironclad. Relief flooded, but scars itched. Therapy unpacked. Jordan's health as metaphor for control lost. Eli's art therapy channeling rage to resilience. My journals chronicling Guard's fall, from rival's protector to lover's equal. Spring renaissance. Wedding small, beachside. Waves witness, Eli best man, Riley officiant, ordained online, grinning. Vows simple. I swear to protect, to love, through every storm. Kiss sealed, cheers rose. Eleanor's handkerchief dabbed joyful tears. Honeymoon. San Juan's return, kayaks bobbing, no shadows. Jordan's smile, quiet, boundless, mirrored sea's calm. Home, Eli announced. NYU recommence, fall. Ready now? Thanks to you. Riley nodded, hand in his. Family's launchpad. Merger thrived, new center ribbon cut. Hale Reyes house, plaque gleaming. Youth flocked, stories echoing ours. Misunderstood love's finding voice. Eleanor's legacy, foundation in her name, bridging faith and queer advocacy. Late bloom, she quipped, volunteering fierce. Yet life twisted gentle. Jordan's checkup clear, but fertility talk surfaced. Surrogacy redux? Eli's nudge, a sibling? Wild. We pondered, hearts open. One eve, sunset gilding the sound. Jordan's arm around me. Eli sketching nearby, Eleanor knitting. This, he murmured, is the plot twist I never saw. I smiled, kissing him soft. Best one yet. And in that quiet, love's drama unfolded, not in crashes or chases, but in daily graces, guards forever down. Years wove forward, threads of triumph and trial interlacing. Hail Reyes' house expanded, satellites in rural Washington, telecounseling bridging gaps. Jordan and I co-led, our styles symbiotic. His vision inspiring donors, my grit grounding operations. Eli graduated NYU, art degree in hand, launching a studio collective for queer creators, Riley co-founder. Their partnership a quiet anchor amid his touring exhibits. Eleanor's health waned gracefully. She passed in our 5th anniversary spring, garden funeral under blooming dogwoods. Her letter, read aloud. I leave you not amends, but admiration. Love as you love, fierce, free. Tears fell, but legacy lived. Foundation grants doubling. Her story in our podcast finale. Jordan's heart held steady. Annual sales our ritual. Winds whipping, his laughter pure. See? Still ticking. Eli's life bloomed unexpected. At 25, he came out by navigating fluid attractions with canvases capturing ambiguity's beauty. A partner, Alex, non-binary sculptor, joined family dinners, their banter echoing our early sparks. My own twists, memoir penned, guarded hearts, bestseller chronicling rivalry to roots. Backlash minimal, trolls muted by time's tide. But core conflict resurfaced subtle, merger growing pains, board schisms on expansion. Younger voices pushed radical, defund police ties, land back initiatives. Veterans like us urged measured alliance. Clash peaked annual retreat, Cascade Lodge stormbound. Arguments flared, you're compromising, a newbie accused. Jordan mediated, smiled disarming. Compromise built this. But listen, evolve or ossify. I backed. Our story's proof. Rivals refine, don't replace. Resolution forged. Hybrid model. Advisory councils amplifying youth. Unity renewed. Personal high. Surrogacy succeeded. Baby girl, Lila, named for Eleanor's angel, arrived squalling, dark curls and blue eyes. Eli uncle in training. Doting. Jordan's hold reverent. Our miracle. Parenting's drama. Colic nights. First steps amid center chaos. Lila's queer aunties, staff parade, spoiled her rotten. Eli's exhibit in Berlin called. He hesitated. Lila needs me. Go, Jordan urged. Roots stretch. Absence tested, but video lullabies bridged. Return brought tales, a ring on Riley's finger, commitment ceremony planned. Lang's retrial closed chapter. Life sentence, no parole. Closure quiet. Donation in victims' names, youth scholarships. Decade mark, gala honoring us. Eli emceeing. From crash to cradle, he toasted, loves the real plot twist. Jordan's speech, eyes on me. I broke his guard, with a smile. He broke mine, with truth. Applause thundered. Later, dance floor slow, his whisper, forever enough? More than, I breathed. Lila toddled between legs, giggling. Eli and Riley swayed nearby, futures bright. Seattle's lights twinkled eternal, storms past, horizon clear. In love's long arc, misunderstandings mended, prejudices pierced, bonds battle forged. We found not end, but endless beginning.